نحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربنا زدنا علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا وعملا متقبلا ورزقا طيبا اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. Today we will be doing inshallah ayat number 104 onwards, Surah al-Baqarah. The topic today is also related to the Jews of the times of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They used to attend Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's gatherings where he would be teaching the Sahaba about the new revelations. The reason for the Jews being interested in attending such gatherings or classes would be because in their hearts they knew that this is the correct. So that feeling of missing out, or oh, let me see what's happening, like a weird kind of guilt and curiosity and a mixture of spying, that I want to see what he's saying now. And also because they were so bent upon making everyone go against Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that they wanted to attend so they can twist and change the meanings of or mock some of the things that he would be teaching, and do like different things, like the evil intentions as well. It's one thing not to believe in something and then go your way, like you just don't care, you mind your own business. And when you start not minding your own business and just want others also not to believe in something, then you are taking something personally, and then there is a reason behind that sometimes. And the reason was because they knew this is correct, and somehow they knew that if they would not stop people actively, people are going to get more and more attracted to the religion of Islam, inshallah. So here we see that when they used to attend the classes of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then the Sahaba, when they would not understand something, or if they would want to request the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to repeat something, they would say Raeena, which is like excuse me, or could you please repeat, something like that. So it will be like in the Urdu the word riayat, can you please excuse me, riayat kijiye. So a similar word which would be Raeena without the ain but with the hamza, Raeena, not Raeena, would mean oh our shepherd, or it would mean oh the dumb one. Okay, so they would use this opportunity and mock and have fun, to have some fun out of it. They would raise their hand and say Raeena, and then they would look at each other and laugh. And this would enrage the Sahaba Karam radiallahu anhum, because of course when everyone loved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they didn't want this kind of disrespect, so they actually wanted to kill those people. But we see that in this ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches the Muslims not to even deal with such people, the people who are really like low class. This is not even the standard that you should fight with, you should deal with. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches the Muslims that they should change their ways. Allah teaches them a different word, wanzurna, which means look at us or give us some time, or something like, if I translate into English, it won't be like please repeat for us, but wanzurna is nazar, look at us kind of thing. So let's go into this ayat. Yeah. O ayyuhal lazina, O people, amanu, those who have iman, la, do not, taqulu, you, qulu, khafa, lam is the root, you should say, ra'ina, meaning excuse me, or look at us, excuse us. Wa, and kulu, yani instead, kulu, you should say, unzurna, meaning have the nazar on us, look at us. And what is the second instruction that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the Muslims at this time? Wasma'u, wa and asma'u, listen, meaning listen carefully. If you listen carefully, you might not need to ask again and again. You might understand it better the first time only. Okay, so this is one more thing, and keep in mind that this is also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind of teaching us also the etiquettes of attending a classroom, better to focus, right, and to use better words, to use respectful words. And not that the Muslims were not using respectful words, but like to make things as respectful as possible. If the word that you're using even like rhymes or sounds like something else, then you can use something that is definitely out of any kind of confusion. And wasma'u, listen carefully. So we should listen carefully when we are in class. We should focus, pay attention to what the teacher is saying, not look here and there, not look at the phone, but actually pay attention. Well, and so what about the other people who are making fun? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Lil kafirina, for the kafir, for the kafir, the disbelievers, azabun alim. There is punishment, painful. Allah is saying, do not deal with them. I am there to deal with them. You do your work. You do what you're supposed to do. If you start dealing with all these kinds of, bad people who are like just, they don't even have any class. Those people who have fun at this level. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that leave the matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can't solve everything, right? So don't give them the reaction that they are asking for. Just change the word. And if they would be also because this is revealed in Quran, so Prophet ﷺ would read it out to them, and of course whoever is Muslim, they will change, and this will if they were pretending to be even Muslim or pretending to attend the classes, they will do what the Muslims are supposed to do. So they will automatically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just not giving them any choice. If they would use any other word, that would mean that they are totally actually claiming to be out of the boundary of Islam, because it's ya ayyuhallazina amanu. So it's beautiful. And just keep in mind, with the youth, when I'm teaching, I try to focus a lot on this ayat and tell them lots of things about how to take notes and pay attention, and how important it is. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us what a good student we should be like. And then ayat number 105, ma, do not, yawaddu, like, wow, dal means to want something, really want something. So they really don't want allazina, those people who kafaru, they disbelieve. What do they really don't want? Min ahlil kitabi, those people who are disbelieve and are from the Ahle Kitab, meaning basically it's the Jews, but Ahle Kitab is both Jews and Christians. Wala, and not al-mushrikina, and those who, and also who else doesn't want something really? The polytheists, the mushrikeen. And what do they both not want? That yunazzala, nun zailam, that it should be revealed to you or sent down to you, alaikum, to you, to the Muslims, min khair, any good. They do not want any good to come to you. They just want to distract you so you can get busy with fighting them, arguing with them, and getting upset and stressed out on these things, so you don't get the khair that Allah is sending. They're just jealous of you, they envy you, and these are the small little ways they find to take it away from you, or deprive you of that. So they do not want, they want so much yawaddu, they really want, but it is ma yawaddu, they really don't want. Who don't want? The people of the book and the polytheists. They really don't want that Allah should send down any khair upon you, min rabbikum, from your Lord. Wallahu, and Allah, yakhtassu khas, meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it khas, makes it special, chooses bi rahmatihi, with his rahmah, man yasha'u, whoever he wills. So it is Allah's wish. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides who is going to choose. It's not like something that we do that Allah chooses us for this Quran, which is the mercy. Yes, we should feel honored, we should feel happy, we should feel really lucky that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this honor, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with his mercy has chosen us. Wallahu, and Allah, Zul Fadlil Azim, he is Zu, is meaning the possessor of, okay, fadlil, of the bounty, of the blessings, azim. So to Allah belongs all the blessings and bounties. And then Allah decides who should shower His mercy and choose somebody for this honor of understanding the book or any kind of khair that Allah chooses to give. Then let's move on to 106. A topic changes a little bit. So keep in mind the last two ayat were related to the classroom etiquettes, like saying the word Raeena and Zurna, not fighting, not arguing with useless people, not like dealing with them, just focusing on your own word, change your ways to make things easier and smooth for you. And avoid petty fights wherever possible. Avoid arguing with people who are not of your class at all. Then over here, ayat number 6 onwards, we'll be talking about abrogation in Quran. Naskh is the word. Naskh means to, delete something or to copy something or to replace something. All three meanings, okay? And we will see that there is abrogation in Quran. And there are three types of abrogation in Quran. One where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has had taken the verse away. The verse was gone. Verses like ayat were gone. So the next day they would just get the feeling that something is missing, but even the Hufaz, they would just forget, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have just taken it out of Quran, and the verse would be gone, but the command will stay. Okay, so the command stays. I will give you example of that also. And then the second type of the naskh is where the verse stays, the ayat stays, but the command is gone. Okay, and the third type is where the ayat and the command both were taken away. So as we move on, I will give you the ayat. Let's just do the ayat first. Ma, what? Nansakhu. Na is we. Nasakh, we abrogate. Min, from. Ayatin, a sign or ayat. Aw, or nunsiha, we cause it to be forgotten. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take it away, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cause it to be nasi, nun seen, yeah, we cause it to be forgotten. Na'ati, nun, it starts with nun, it means we. Ati, we bring. Bi khairin, khair, better. Minha, than it. So whatever is taken away, Allah is saying we bring something better than this. So there is a reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does that. Aw, or mitliha, or similar to it, something that is similar but more appropriate, or something that was just needed at a certain time, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the universal, because Quran is the book that is supposed to stay till Qiyamah, till the day of judgment. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to change the law that is going to stay till the end of the world. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that whatever Allah changes or takes away or makes the people to forget, Allah brings something better or equivalent or similar to it. Alam, do not. Ta'alam, ain lam mim, like, do you not have the ilm? Anna Allah, that indeed Allah, ala, upon, kulli, every, shay'in, thing, qadir, is powerful. So Allah is powerful over everything. Allah can do anything, because it's possible we might think that, okay, if it was written in Loha Quran, that before the Quran was revealed, it was completely like the whole book is present in Loha Quran, right? And then from Loha Quran it was revealed piece by piece or little by little, or whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted the sequence and timings and frequency be to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So of course it means that we don't know the naskh is like what is written in Lohe Quran was the one that is the final copy, final thing. So naskh is also one of the topics of ghaib. We don't know exactly why, how, or how many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done naskh. Let's look at the example for naskh. There are three types, and the first one, as I said, is where the verse stays or the ayat stays and the command is gone. A good example of this would be the commands related to drinking wine. We know that the command to quit or to stop drinking came in 3 steps or 3 stages. So in the first one, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned not to come close to salah when somebody is drunk, which of course, if we look at it, literally means that, okay, maybe the drinking is allowed, but you're not supposed to drink it at the time of salah. And of course, this, since salah is like 5 times in the day, which means it is discouraged. So it is kind of like a hint to, it seems like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is starting to discourage and get them closer to be able to quit. And then, a similar ayat comes where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows that it is disapproved. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the ayat related to completely stopping the drinking is haram. So what do we do about the first two ayat? Which does that mean that they are still active? No, it means that those ayats are still there, but the command is gone. You cannot drink and think that, okay, it is not time for salah, so from Isha to Fajr I can drink. So those ayats are there, but the command is gone, which means it is naskh, it is abrogated. Second type of example for the second type where the verse is gone but the command is there would be the punishment for fornication. We know that in Islam the punishment is different for the married and it is different for the person who is unmarried, zina, somebody who does zina. For the married, it is stoning to death, and for somebody who is not married, it is 100 or 80, whipping them 80 times. So this we know in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has only mentioned the stoning to death. But from the ahadith, we know that the punishments are different. So it is said that the ayat was also there, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abrogated it for whatever reason. It is, the command is there, but the ayat is gone. And then the third type where the command and the ayat both are not there. One of the examples could be where we study in Surah Baqarah only, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that Allah is not ashamed of giving the example of even the mosquito or even a parasite on top of mosquito. And there is nothing mentioned, but it seems like maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had used a command and used the example of mosquito, and maybe this ayat came before or after that. So so the ayat is also gone, the command is also gone, and maybe there might be many ayats, many examples in Quran where abrogation has happened. We would not know that, and at this level of studies that we are at right now, we do not need to go into so much depth. We just need to understand that this is the concept of abrogation, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used it, and to answer the questions of Jews or whoever used to make fun of or bother the Muslims with their questions. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has explained that this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted it to happen, and this is how it is revealed. Let's do ayat number 107. Alam, do not, do, lam, not, ta'alam, so it starts with the, meaning the you, and ilm, knowledge. Don't you have the knowledge? Annallaha, that indeed Allah, lahu, for him, mulkus samawati. Mulk means the kingdom, being the king. Samawat is the plural of sama, meaning the heavens or the skies. Wal earth, and the earth, because we just read the ayat where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked, it's very easy for Allah ta'ala to do anything. Allah could have given us the Quran without naskh, but Allah decided to give us the Quran with naskh. So this is also because, like the polytheists and Jews, they used to ask the Muslims about many questions about why does Allah do that? Like, does he make mistakes or what? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells them that Allah, you can see that it's not like Allah does not have the power, or Allah can make mistake, or Allah has power of everything, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is all Allah's kingdom, asma, the skies and the earth, everything. Wama lakum, and not for you, min dunillahi, from besides Allah. Dun means besides Allah, so there is no one for you besides Allah. Min waliyin, any wali. Wali means protector, walamya, or somebody who's a guardian everywhere. Wala, and not nasir. Nasir comes from nun swadra, which means help, and nasir means somebody who's helper. and nobody can be your protector or helper except for Allah. So this is, if somebody understands that concept, then naskh becomes, or anything, it becomes easier to understand that this is how Allah wanted it for us. For whatever reason, we cannot comprehend everything, because we just have to know, because both the times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does use the word ilm, alam ta'alam. So we just need to have, our minds are made only to the extent to understand that Allah is ala kulli shayin qadir, and Allah is, for him, lahu mulku samawati wal ard. If we understand that, then we should understand that Allah can do anything. He has the power to do